Okay, this next part is uh, Gorilla Glue, wood glue, and just a few shots of water out of this pathetic shot glass. Anyway, you get this. It makes a really good glaze. I got this idea from Raphael on his own YouTube channel, Epic Cardboard Props. So I owe him for introducing me to this technique. It makes a really good glaze to cover your models, whether or not you paint them. I tend to paint mine. I like to paint my models. This is a model of Smaug. I wish I had some key light back there. Um, it's a very tedious process. Do I have a flashlight anywhere? Uh, Flashlight. Oh, I thought I had one. Um, anyway, forget the flashlight. Uh, I'll just show it to you like this. You can see, if you look closely, every little piece is a cut out piece of cardboard that's in the shape of a scale, which I have glued on tediously one by one. I experimented on the top of the head with this putty I found at the dollar store, and it turns out it's just easier just to use cardboard scales, as I have already done meticulously all over the head. And the putty might come in handy for filling in crevices and whatnot, but I'm not going to use it as scale material, which was my original idea, but I'll still use it for something. Anyway, got to mix this up. It's 50-50 wood glue and water. Makes a good glaze. You got to put several coats um, for it to really stick or adhere and make it hard. After you've put several coats, it turns into, I use cereal box cardboard to make my models, and once you coat it with this stuff several times, it gets hard. It becomes tough, more like plastic than paper. So I haven't coated the tongue with this yet, so I'm going to start by doing that, coating the tongue. By the way, these are my references. Lift this up. Oops. Uh, these are my references. It's on Sketchfab. I've got Smaug loaded, a head loaded on my computer, and I've got it also put on my big screen TV. And what's cool about Sketchfab is you can go over here to the left and select Met Cap plus Surface. You get an awesome, awesome idea of the geometry compared to just the finished final render. This Met Cap plus Surface gives you your butt maps, your God, it's been so long since I've been in college. All these different maps for giving a model extra texture, like bump maps and secular maps, and anyway, you get the idea. It brings out a lot of definition in the model that you might miss just by looking at the textures, and it gives you a chance to put a lot more detail into your model by selecting Metcap plus surface, which is right here. See where my mouse is going? Right there, Metcap plus surface. For now, I'm just going to switch it back to final render. But this is all on a website called Sketchfab. Just type Sketchfab Smaug or Sketchfab whatever the heck you want to build, and there are models out the wazoo which you can rotate. You can rotate to get a good look at it, any angle. You can zoom in and out to really get a look at what the surface texture is like. It's an invaluable tool for anybody who is modeling in real life out of any material, but in my case, it's cardboard, cereal box, cracker box, very thin cardboard. Raphael on Epic Cardboard Props uses the very thick corrugated kind, which is, in my opinion, just F that stuff. It's really hard to work with, but he makes really large models, so it's makes sense to use a thicker kind of cardboard that you can thin out with a rolling pin than to start out with something really thin if you're going to make your models on a large scale, which I don't tend to do. I like making smaller models with lots and lots of detail. So back to where we were. I was about to cover this. I've already painted it. I'll probably put a few coats of this on it and then paint it again. I mean, it's not perfect by any means. It's as close as I could manage to the reference model over there. But this stuff, it goes on kind of like a. Oops, hang on. I forgot about this. You need lots of paper towels, or you're going to make a mess out of your self-healing cutting board. So place paper towels or get them ready to wipe. And so, hello. Oh no, I don't want one right now. I'm in the middle of documenting my build here for YouTube, if I ever do put it on YouTube. Explaining what I'm doing and whatnot. I'm not hungry right now. Thank you. I'm putting glue glaze on this, which is really helpful. I learned it from Raphael. Okay. And once I've got all this covered in glaze, I'm talking the whole model, inside and out, covered up. Anything that doesn't want to stick right away, you just let it come out, because it's going to dry clear, which is what's really cool about this homemade glaze. I mean, you could spray it with something from the store. I got just loads and loads of stuff down here. You know, oh my god, this place is such a mess. But I've got just about everything I need. Glaze, paint, different colored paints, clear coats, flat coats, whatever. But I tend to use this as it really works well. It strengthens the model too, surprisingly well. I never would have thought of this on my own, so thank you, Raphael. Go visit his channel, by the way. It's Epic Cardboard Props. He's the whole reason why I'm doing this. I don't have any kind of unrealistic ideas about my YouTube channel taking off and actually, you know, making money. That's pie in the sky. But I'm still going to make one. Even if it makes no money at all, I am going to keep building props and uploading them and making the channel look as professional as possible. I mean, I've got this computer animation degree that's pretty much worthless. So what do I do with it? What do I do with the computer animation degree? I've got all these skills for 3D modeling, because that was my focus when I went to school. By the way, if anyone is considering going to the Art Institute, do not do that. I went from 2000 to 2002 and earned my degree in computer animation. But you know what that degree turned out to be? It turned out to be worthless. And I actually had advance warning. My uncle had gone to the Art Institute in Dallas. And from his experience, yes, to him, they turned out to be a sham school. As I was making my decision, he said, Ash, take a step back. Listen to your elder. He didn't say it in a demeaning kind of way. He just said, listen, I've already gone. It's not worth it. It is a sham school. Do not go. Well, I was young and stupid. I went anyway. This was 20 years ago. And what have I done with my degree? Well, I've tried to do something with it, but breaking into the computer animation field is akin to breaking into Hollywood. You have to know people, you got to network, you have to know how to talk slick, you got to know people in the industry. It just ain't It's close to impossible for somebody like me, just a dumb country hick who moved to from East Texas to the big city. Sort of like your trope of the starry-eyed girl moving to Hollywood thinking they're going to be a beautiful movie star. Well, that ain't going to happen. And that's how they lure you in at the Art Institute. They tell you, well, we have an 80% placement rating. Lie. First off, right off the bat, that's a lie. There's no 80% placement rating. Also, and when you've graduated, we will an host a portfolio show showcasing your portfolios to leading industry uh, people. And yeah, they gave us a portfolio show. But you know who showed up? About two or three people. And you know who they were? Just curious people, that's all. Curious people. Out of everyone in my class who I went to the Art Institute with, which included, oh my God, hundreds of people, I only know of one person who is actually working in the industry right now out of hundreds who are promised an 80%. Okay, I can understand 80% working and 20% not because that was the promise. But it was a lie. And there's a class action lawsuit going on right now, which I really should get off my lazy butt and check out because I've already paid about $6,000 or $7,000 of my loans, but I ain't paying a damn red cent more. And I could probably get a lot of that either reimbursed or have my loans forgiven. And why I don't look into that, I don't know. I'm kind of cuckoo in the brain. I've suffered a lot of mental problems over the years. I'm a terminal insomniac, which means I can't sleep ever. And that's not a lie. That's not an exaggeration. That's not just something to say for fun on a comic book page, that's a made up condition. No, this is real. This happened to me. At the beginning of 2015, I started having trouble sleeping, and by mid 2015, I had completely forgotten how to sleep. Not that there's a process to it, you just lay down and close your eyes, but my brain didn't know how to do it anymore. And as a result, I spent 2 years wide awake, which did a number on me to say the least. Mostly because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. Whoops, let me put this back in frame. I didn't know that I didn't know what was happening. I'd never had trouble sleeping before. I figured it would come back to me. Like it always does, There's acute insomnia and there's chronic insomnia. Two kinds. Acute is usually, not that bad, lasts for about a week. Chronic, worse, lasts for about a month or two. There's not a category for mine. I made one up myself. It's called permanent insomnia. And that's what I have. But I have pills for that. I've got a sympathetic doctor who gives me antipsychotics, which are the only things that will knock me out. And with those, I can sleep. And also, as a result of this whole not being able to sleep thing for 2 years, I developed a lot of mental issues, PTSD being one of them. I'm terrified of insomnia. It's like the boogeyman to me. I can't put it any more clearly than that. Just imagine your worst nightmare come to life, and that's what living with permanent insomnia is like whenever you don't have any meds and you know you can't sleep. I've been awake, oh my God, 2 years I spent wide awake, and that's not even an exaggeration. Holding it down the job, too. I didn't know what was happening, so I just kept going. You can have some pretty wild, wide awake dreams, though, I can tell you that much. Because your dreams still happen. That's not part of your deep stage 4 sleep that you need. Your dreams are your REM sleep. That's stage 2 sleep. It doesn't contribute to your rest. People really don't. Scientists don't know what REM sleep is for, but it happens regardless of whether or not you get a good night's sleep. You still experience that REM stage, and so I used to lay in bed all night with no sleep coming or going or anywhere in sight, and just lay there and watch the most outlandish cartoons on the inside of my noggin. They were dreams. So imagine being awake, kind of like lucid dreams, but you're wide awake, as opposed to being asleep and knowing that you're dreaming. You are wide awake and knowing that you're dreaming, and that can be entertaining actually, but it ain't worth it. I'll tell you, it's just not worth it. I went through thing episodes called depersonalization and derealization, which make you think you're going batshit crazy. Sorry, YouTube, I'll have to edit that out if I upload this. That make you think you're going crazy. And I really shouldn't even be talking about this. This has nothing to do with the model. I'm just talking about it while I'm glazing it. But anyway, this is what I do to make myself feel like I'm still human, that I can still produce, that I'm not completely broken, because this was my goal in life, to be an artist. I mean, it's where my talent lies. And in my family, everybody's got this talent on both sides. And when I discovered Raphael's channel, go check it out. It's called Epic Cardboard Props. I'll leave a link down below to it. When I discovered his channel, I remembered I used to do this when I was a kid. I used to make cardboard models when I was a kid, like from 10 years old to 15 years old. It reminded me of that. And suddenly I had a reason to wake up in the morning. I had a reason to look forward to something, which was getting up and working on a model. I have Raphael to thank for that. I don't think he understands the kind of impact that he has on people's lives. I think that he's just in it for his own personal reasons, based on my interactions with him. I'm not trying to diss him. I thank him so much, but I just don't think he understands, is all. I mean, the impact he's had on my life, and that he's having on other people's lives, probably, that he doesn't even know about. Yeah, he's really good. He's the YouTube channel who inspired me to start doing this again, and at this level of detail. And once I realized I could build Smaug, as far as I've come with him, I'm building the whole body, by the way, not just the head. And once I realized that I had come this far with Smaug, I realized that I still had some abilities and some things I could do. All right, that's the top head. Or that's the bottom jaw. I mean, tongue and whatnot. Just rough. I will fix it down the line. There's no scales on this side yet, for instance. No scales. As opposed to that side, there are scales. So it's far from finished. Anyway, let me put this thing. Oh, I need to put it over here to dry. the top of this guy. Since the putty didn't work so well, I'm just going to go ahead and putty over all this stuff and let the glue sink in. Oops. What? No, I don't need that, thanks. That's my brother Matt. So glue goes here. And there's really not much I can do except for wait for the glue to dry and see what it looks like. If it looks like crap, I'll just have to scrape out all that putty and then just do it the old-fashioned way, you know. But I've already put several coats of putty on this model, and I'll turn him upside down and let him dry like this, as opposed to in front of the fan, because I think it'll dry better. Matter of fact, here we go. Oh, I painted this is the inside of his mouth, by the way. Isn't that cool? It's bad arse, I think. Man, I just don't know what kind of things to say and what not to say on YouTube nowadays. People get demonetized for videos they put up 6 years ago. So, and I don't really, like I said, I don't expect this to be a YouTube channel that blows up. But I really need to research what it is I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. I mean, some people get demonetized just from saying the word death in their videos. Whoops, there I went. Death, 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 death. I'll say 100,000 times. Death. Smaug says it in the frickin' movie. For the love of Pete. He says death so many times. I mean, good lord. YouTube is going to censor me for saying death. So be it. I've learned my lesson and I won't do it next time. So, there we are. Now I'm going to stop this for now. Later I'll edit all this stuff. This is the first video I've taken. I wish I would have thought to start videoing the process sooner, so that I could have documented the entire build. But I have photos. I have photos of it all over Facebook. And I'll link my Facebook too at the bottom of the page. I don't know if YouTube likes that. If they don't, then I won't. So we'll let these models dry.